Hi everyone and welcome to My Math Queen. In a previous video we learned the basics of percentages and conceptually what percent means. In these examples we're going to take a look at calculating a percentage of a number in a slightly different method. Here we have 40% of 300. We can simply calculate 40% of 300 without doing the boxes as we did in the previous video and adding everything up, simply by taking the 40% and multiplying by 3. So we have 40%. So we take the 40 and we multiply that by 3. What is 40 times 3? That is going to give us 120. So in this example, 40% of 300 is $120. Let's practice again with another example. 25% of 400. These are already in hundreds. The reason that we're able to do this is because these values, this data value, is already in hundreds. So we can simply take 25 times 4. What's 25 times 4? We know that 25 times 4 is 100. Now let's take a look at this next example, 70% of 200. Again, this value is in the hundreds already, so we just take 70 and multiply it by 2. What is 70 times 2? 140. So 70% of 200 is 140. Now we might ask, well, what happens in a case when our dollar values here are not in hundreds? Well, we can follow the same methodology. So 40 times 3, that still gives us 120. But in this case, because this value, so I'm going to write 120, because this value is not in hundreds, we have to shift this over by 1 digit. So we're going to move the decimal over 1 place to the left, and that gives us $12 instead of 120. Now let's do this next one, 25% of 40. Okay, this is not in hundreds. Okay, these are not in hundreds already. So we take 25 and we multiply it by 4, just like we had in the previous. What's 25 times 4? We know that is 100. However, because this is in tens, let's move this over 1. And we have 10 instead of 100. Now let's do a last example. 70% of 20. Again, this value here is not in hundreds, and a percent, as we know it, as we looked in our last video, represents per 100, for every 100. So we're going to take the 70 times the 2 like we did before, and that gives us 140, but we have to recall that because this is in tens, let's move this over 1 place, and that gives us 14. So now we have a smaller number here, but the method we follow is slightly different by adding the shift of the decimal place 1 place over to the left. And you guessed it, we're going to show one last example where we have percentages, and these are in ones units. So this is $3, $4, and $2. So we're going to do the math the same. So we know that 40 times 3 is 120, so I'm going to write my 120. However, these are in units of 1, and a percent means for every 100. Well, these are only 3 100ths. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this over, instead of 1 place, guess how many? You got it. So this actually becomes $1.20. Okay, so therefore 40% of $3 is $1.20. Let's do the same with this next example. 25% of $4. Well, we have 25 times 4, which we know is 100, as we've done in previous examples. But these are in 4. This is 4 hundredths. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this over 2 places, and this is actually $1. You probably already knew that, right? So $1. Okay, and here 70% of $2. So let's go ahead and do the multiplication. 70% times 2 is 140. But now let's go ahead and recognize that these are in ones. These are really 2 hundredths. So we're going to move the decimal place 2 places over to the left, and that's going to give us $1.40. So you can see the differences when these are in ones versus when they are in the hundreds, which we started off with, versus when they are in the tens, as you saw here. Okay, I hope this helps in your math learning. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share and subscribe to my channel for more.